obviously, in order for you to be able to give this answer, and other people like you to give that answer if they live in the Uyghur region of China or Tibet or any place where people are worried about internet access and freedom, we have to keep a free and open internet. Are you at all concerned? I understand why the reaction in the rest of the world to the Edward Snowden declarations has given new energy. Wait a minute, listen to this. Given new energy to the idea that the United States should not be in nominal control of domain names in the internet. I understand that. But I also know that we've kept the internet free and open, and it's a great tribute to the United States that we have done that, and including the ability to bash the living daylights out of those of us that are in office or have been. We've done that. And a lot of people who've been trying to take this authority away from the United States wanted to do it for the sole purpose of cracking down on internet freedom and limiting it and having governments protect their backsides instead of empower their people. So are you at all worried, Jimmy, that that if we give up this domain jurisdiction that we've had for all these years, that we'll lose internet freedom?
Yeah, I'm very worried about it. I mean, this is something that when I travel all around the world.
We all understand this issue. Yes. Okay.
When I travel around the world, I meet with people and many different, internet policy people, government officials, and so forth. It's something that through the years, when people would say, maybe young activists in Germany would say, "Oh, it's terrible. Why should the U.S. have this special power?" And I said, "Well, in principle, I understand what you're saying. However, there is the First Amendment in the U.S., and there is a culture around free expression that's so strong that it's really important. And for me, one of the biggest disappointments and one of the biggest difficulties right now, if I go to China, as I've done, and I meet with the officials there who censor the internet, and I say to them, "You're on the wrong side of history. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be spying on what your people are doing. You shouldn't be." They now point and say, "Well, look what the U.S. is doing." And whether that's completely fair or not, depending on the details of the revelations, that attitude has shifted, so that now going out and saying, "Yeah, but the U.S. will do a good job," people don't believe that necessarily anymore. They're really concerned about what does that really mean, which means that movement for more multi-stakeholder control, which is a very abstract phrase, and something in principle we can say is good. But when I'm on a high-level panel at ICANN discussing these issues, and one of the things that really concerns me is some of the other people on the panel, when they talk about, well, it's important that we have respect for local cultures. Okay, I respect local cultures, but I'm not sure if that means, I think you, the head of the telecom regulation unit in a particular country, should be banning parts of Wikipedia. That's not local cultural variation that we should embrace and accept. That's a human rights violation. And I don't know the way forward. Internet governance is a very complicated issue, but it does concern me. I mean, Hillary Clinton has had this wonderful, she made some wonderful speeches about internet freedom agenda and so forth, which, really I think had a big impact, and it's really something that the U.S. should be taking leadership on. And if, because of the embarrassing revelations, we're not able to take leadership anymore, I think the world is possibly a little worse off for that.
Yeah, all I can tell you, John, I don't know if you want to weigh in on this, all I can tell you is whatever you believe about what the NSA has done, what the proposals the president made to change it, whatever, the internet has flourished in freedom, and people have had access to it, and whether it was trying to keep access open in Iran after their disputed election with the Green Revolution, whether it's trying to make sure you could use it and people could follow your struggles in driving. We've been there on that, whatever else you think is wrong. And all I'm saying is I understand in theory why we would like to have a multi-stakeholder process. I favor that. know that a lot of these so-called multi-stakeholders are really governments that want to gag people and restrict access to the internet.
Absolutely.